You can see me?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, welcome to the Bible study. So those who are watching, this is going to be pre-recorded. So we are no longer doing Facebook Live um, for the Bible study. But our service is will be at Facebook Live every Sunday at 11:45. Bible study. You could join us here at 6 p.m. Here in our facility if you want to do it live. But your recording usually go around about 8 o'clock or so. So know that. All right. So let's pray and let's begin. Father God, we truly thank you for this day. Thank you for guiding us and being here with us as you lead us and guide us in this times of turbulence. Lord, thank you for all you have done for us, the blessings that you give us, and the guidance and the wisdom that you give. Lord, may we continue to follow your ways and always abide by your words, Lord. Thank you, we pray in his name, Jesus. Amen. So let's read Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 55. This thing has huge letters. Verse 2 and 3. So I'm going to read, starting from verse 2. It says, "Why spend money on what is not bread, and your labor on what does not satisfy? Listen to me and eat what is good, and your soul will delight in the richest of fare. Give ear and come to me. Hear me, that your soul may live. I will make an everlasting covenant with you, my faithful love promised to David." So today we're going to talk about the topic of conversation. It's so number one, let's get into that. How do you find yourself having difficult? It's not how, but have you find yourself having difficult time speaking with other people? Do you have a difficult time speaking to other people, or people like they look at you going, "What do you say?"
Yes.
If you have that problem, you're having a problem conveying your message to other people. The word convey is from the word French word. I don't know how to say it, but there's an R at the end. But I know they don't pronounce R's at the end, so I don't know. Convey? I don't know. But anyway, it means to means to be together. Convey means to be together. So conversation is basically the root word of that came out of that root word of convey, to be with, to have fellowship, basically. So conversation is not just about talking, it's about being together. So we often mistake conversation as just talking, but it's more than that. Conversation is about putting yourself out to another person so that other person can understand you and get to know you, right? So we need to kind of think about in that terms as we think about conversation. And there are many forms of conversation. We're going to talk about those things. We're going to talk about how we can have a better and effective conversation skills, right? We call that an art form. It's a skill, like any other skill. You have to learn how to do that. Just because you know how to talk doesn't mean you know how to have a conversation skill. It's a different thing. I could grab a hammer and I could hammer. Doesn't mean I know how, or be an effective carpenter just because I have a hammer in my hand and I know how to nail something down. No, there's a way you do it, how you do it. There's many different skills and technique involved into that. Same thing with conversation. It's a skill. You have to learn how to do it. It's not like, oh, I know how to speak, so therefore I already have gained that skill. No, you have to hone it, you have to refine it, you have to work on it to get better at it. So let's go to number 2. It says, knowing how to engage in a conversation is important. It is important. You have to know how to engage in that, right? Engage means to immerse yourself in it, right? A lot of times we think conversation is conveying my message and they get it and they'll try to do it and I get it and we're done. It's a lot more than that, a lot deeper than that. When you look at it, let's take a look. It says when you have a good conversation skill, you will find that people around you understand you better. They don't go, huh? What? What did you say? I don't understand. I don't get it. They don't say that. They'll say, if you have a good conversation skill, you have a communication skill, they'll say, oh yeah, I get it. I know what you mean. They'll say, I know what you mean. Right? They'll understand the intentionality of your words and the sentences that you convey. They'll say, oh, I get it. Okay? But if you have a poor communication skill, they'll say, oh, what? I don't know. I don't get it. I think that's what he said. You will hear that. When he starts saying, I think that's what you said a lot, you're not communicating effectively. Really, the conversation is not happening. What's telling you is that you're not giving clear messages to the point where they're going, I don't know, they're just guessing. They're guessing what you're saying is this. And that could cause a lot of problems. So, second thing is when you have a good conversation skills, you will understand others better, right? There are times when you talk to people and you get frustrated. When you're like, I don't get you. Have you heard that before? I don't get you. You heard that before, right? Yeah. I don't get you. I don't know what you're saying. I don't quite get why you say these things. If that's happening in the conversation, that means you're not understanding really well, and your skills needs to be better, right? You will see you will see less frustrating moments of argument and fights. So when you have a good communication skills and conversation skills, you'll have less of those. If you're constantly in argument, fights, misunderstandings, and frustration in that conversation, you got that two people who are speaking are not conveying the message correctly. They're doing it wrong. So the message is going whoop, whoop, and then going. They're missing all over the place, but they're speaking. They're talking, but they're not understanding. The message is being lost. There's a, what was it? The movie Lost in the Translation or something like that. It's lost. You hear the words, but you're not really getting it. You're not getting it. The other person is not getting it, or the group of people are not getting it, and you're not being effective. So there's going to be a lot of frustration. There's going to be arguments. There's going to be fights. Resentments develop, right? So a lot of married couple have that issue. Or here's a good example is the conversation between parents and teenagers. Okay, this is how it usually goes. Parents expecting their teenagers to obey, right? If you're ever a parent, if you've been with the parents who's like that, they usually are. They expect you to obey or abide by their words or their rules. Why? Because that's what they've been doing since they're a little child, right? You want to protect them, you want to guide them, you want to teach them. So since they were young, because they are so helpless, they rely on you to help and teach and guide and to protect. You believe that as they grow, you have the same mentality. So when you have conversation with your child who is now a teenager, you expect the same results as you give commands. You don't talk to your child. You usually give commands. Okay, do what I say. Do what I tell you. That's a command. That is not a conversation. So teenagers are now believe when they're a little kid, they look up to you and they, oh yeah, they, you can't go wrong. All of a sudden they start to grow and they experience life a little bit more. I know I'm a teenager now. I know a lot, right? Even though they don't, right? I know a lot. I know enough that some of the things that you're saying is wrong. So what they're saying is, okay, I have my own thoughts, I have my own opinions now. You need to respect that. The problem is you're not respecting, as a parent, you're not respecting that. You're still doing this, but there's no conversation happening. Your teenager is rebelling because when they try to express their own thoughts and opinions and try to convey their message to you, and you're not receiving it at all. You actually receiving that as a complaint, or being a brat, or being a jerk, or whatever, or being a smartass. Right? You hear that a lot. Don't be a smartass, right? They think they know it all. They think they know the world, but they don't. Well, you have to listen to what they're trying to say. Instead, we're just going, yeah. You just need to do what I tell you. If you live under this house, as long as you live under this house, what do you say? You follow my rules. That works for a while if the child is young. Yeah. But when they're teenagers, they're just gonna rebel even more.
Rebel or they run away.
Rebel, or they once they feel like, okay, I can't take this anymore because they don't understand me at all. They don't get me. They just don't want to. They just want to control me, right? Without all that hormone raging, and now they're like, okay, I'm rebelling. Mm-hmm. I don't need to listen to this anymore, right? So that's what's happening if you don't have a good conversation skills. So you the fourth D, you will be able to convey your message much more clearly without obstruction. So when you have that good skills, conversation skills, because you understand, because you have that knowledge, because you have that skill, you are able to give your message without being obstructed by something else. You are able to overcome those, go sideways or up, whatever it is. You are able to still convey the message without drowning it out or you losing them. Okay?
It's just a thing where right now it's my son, so back then, yeah, I would be yelling at him, and he's just like, why are you yelling at me? But now it's like, I kind of step back and understand him more, so pretty much when doing his homework, I let him do his homework, and I looked at it, and I was like, okay, so then, what mommy's gonna do is I'm gonna put this sheet every single day, Monday through Thursday. This is what you need to do. Because you know why? Because these are the areas that you need to work on, and you know what area it is. And he saw it. He said, "Yeah, I do need help from them." So now we're kind of like understanding each other, both each other. And then, even though he's only 8, so now it's more like not too much pressure on him. Cause I do expect it that that he's supposed to learn quick like that, but due to the COVID, everything's went back. So now we kind of like started. Okay, he knows me that. Okay, mommy knows that I need to work on this, so I need to do it. Show her that I actually started to improve because her way of teaching is actually helped me improve. So yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah, but your son is not in a teenager yet.
I know he's not a teenager, but at the same time, it's like, ugh, yeah. He's little. But the only thing I do have another one too, because my niece, when she was 18, she was like bored of not graduating because she just don't want to go to school no more. She just wanted to move in with her girlfriend, and she just took off, and then all the money, and my sister couldn't do it because my sister, bunch of kids, about 10 kids, so she can't concentrate on the oldest one. So we can't, like myself and my 2 sisters, we had to go there. So I had to be kind of firm because my sister's too nice. She can't be firm. So the only thing is that I had to tell my sister and tell my niece that the only thing, let her experience it and she will come back. And she did experience the hardship and she came back. She went and the counselor got her, got all her grade up. She counselor helped her, got her grade up. She managed to graduate. And we told her already, we did warn her that, if you're gonna take this route, and then, we always here for you if you need to talk, we need help, we always here, because we understand, because you are rebelling against your mom and your dad, because you fell in love with somebody who took advantage of you, because you were vulnerable, and then, we let you go. When that door is always open. And then I told your mom and your dad that just let you go. And then she came back, she changed and said, Auntie, you guys always been there, could've just listened to you guys, because you did tell me not to disobey mom and dad, and and then I realized what I did a mistake, and that's why. You have to be calm and be at their level. Don't be like over their head, like, oh no, because I'm older than you, and then you're supposed to respect me like that. Just no, just sit down and say, I understand you. I'm at your eye level.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and so we'll go into that and more, but yeah, that's what we're trying to achieve, is to, sure, you're young and immature and all that, but still have your opinion. You're old enough to convey your and really gather your own thoughts and have your own feelings. So we can't just ignore that and try to communicate by commanding and disrespecting them, expecting same thing in return.
Yeah, it's the same like with my sister. She's too nice. Then the dad, he's just too commanding. Say, no, you're my dad. It's like, hey, you guys have to stop. It's like you guys not listening to her. And then after that, to say, you could just say something kind of like calm and say that, hey, just continue school or something. And if you're ever done, you graduate, you can do your 18 and you do whatever you want after that.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, and so, which is good. So we'll go more into that. So let's look at example of how God communicates to us. So that we need to see how He communicates to us. And by looking at that example, we see how we could be more effective like God. So first thing is God used the ability to speak. So speech. If you look at Genesis chapter 1 and 2, when God's starting to create the world, what did He use?
His breath.
What did He use to
Words.
create? Words. Speech, words, right? So God said, "Let there be light," and there was so. Yeah, let there be light, and there was light, right? Let there be, stars in the skies, and let there be, night and day. Let there be water, sky. He used words. He used speech to convey and to create. So what He tells us is that speech and word has power. Because we are created by God, we are created in His image. Even though we do not have the power like God, we can't create things by words, but we can give life or take away life through speech. So we could give life or we could give evil or pain through speech. So speech or words has a lot and power. So when you start talking to people, and you'll know there are people who are toxic, right? Because when they start talking to you or try to have a conversation with them, you're like, oh man, this is no good. He or she is toxic to me. I can't. I feel like my life draining out, right? That's because the words has power. When you say certain words, certain speech to certain people, depending on what you said, you could give life or take away life. I mean, you're breaking down people. Let's give an example. So when you talking to, let's say, somebody that you care about, and if you always go to them and say, because you're comfortable and you think you know them, and say, oh, look at this mess, you're no good. God, why are you so messy? Man, who raised you? Animals? What are you doing? You're so lazy. What do you do all day? Why is it so messy? And if you start saying things like that, what are you conveying? What are you communicating?
That
Are
they're
you-
worthless.
Are you
Evil.
communicating life or evil? Pain. You're communicating pain. Because what you're feeling inside, which is frustration, anger, and pain, right? It's coming out in your speech. And when you do that, it goes to that person and it affects that person because you're not well here. Understand? So when we always having conversation, you have to be careful how we use the words, how we use the speech. It's a power. Speech is a power. So that's why when good pastors give good sermons, what do you feel?
Okay.
You feel good. You feel life, right? You always said that. I know Dylan, you always like, oh, I was listening to whosoever, and man, you gotta listen to it because I was like, man, it pumped me up. It gave me, that's a good word right there, right? Why do you think that is? Because that person is giving life. That person is injecting life into the words they use to give you that power, right? So speech and the words are very important. So when we're really having a conversation, we have to watch out the words that we choose and pick and choose to use to talk to other person. So when you're like always negative and using negative words, they're not gonna feel good about that.
Yeah, it's just if you ask me, I do, because I do say negative words and painful words because all of the frustration, insecurity, and all those stuff that I have so much resentment. But now understanding is just that I understand that I do need to work on that. So lately I've been ignoring that, and then I just like, okay, let whatever the person say whatever they want. It's like I'm not gonna say anything any more of those because it's just gonna bring back all the stuff because I just say that I'm leaving those I'm not leaving behind. It's just that I'm actually taking it out from me, and I'm not gonna go back and use those words anymore.
So if you go into the 12-step program, number 5 and number 6 is about working on your person as a person. You're
Yeah.
trying to correct yourself as a person. I don't know if you guys, any of you been through a 12-step program?
No.
Character defects.
Character defects is number 6.
Mhm.
Character defects number 6. Number 5 is listing all the wrongdoings that you have done in your life.
That's 4 is made a list, and then 5 became willing to make amends.
Yeah. So 4 is the list, and the 5 is you just going into an action, and you actually have to go into. If you borrow money, you pay it back. Apologize or whatever. So, and 6 is the character defects, where you admit that you have character defect. There are certain things in my life that who I am that are weak
Yeah.
or not good, and I have to admit to that, and I say I submit to your will, and it's a change. So, yeah, that definitely helps.
Yeah.
So that when we start conveying messages, when we start talking to people, we're giving life.
Yeah.
Even if the circumstance could be a negative one. So let's say your son, right? So your son got an F.
Mhm.
You're going, what the heck did you do?
Mhm.
This is unacceptable. You are lazy. I can't believe you're going against me. You're trying to hurt me by getting F. A few things like that. And your son's going, whoa, like what is that? And he's going to take in, and he's starting to harbor
Yeah.
pain, suffering, and whatever, resentment. Right? If instead you could have gotten to, instead of that, and say, okay, what happened? And you listen, and
Yeah.
then, okay, let's work on it together. I know you can.
Yeah.
Right? That's different, boy. You're stupid. What are you doing? And be an idiot. Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So see that speech and the words do have power.
It does.
So-
It actually, he does that whenever he start feeling there's certain area spot. I don't yell at him for that. I was like, okay, Zayden, you know, teachers say that you need to work on this, we need to work on it. So I don't go overboard saying all those mean things, or no, we just need to work on it. So if teachers start asking you questions, you know, it's like, you know, we want you to participate, just participate. If you don't know, just go anyways, do participate, cause it's just like, you know, if you don't know, just ask the question and teacher will tell you.
Yeah.
And then now he's doing it, so as I say, it's just being calm and collective, and the communication between the both of you is like understandable.
And that's what we need to do. Continue to do that. Continue to practice that. Again, speech and conversation is communication is a skill.
Yeah,
Right? You need to continue to hone it. You need to practice it. Just because I know how to bounce a basketball doesn't mean I'm an NBA ready player, right? You need to continue to practice the same thing over and over and over just to make sure I get good at it. The same thing here as well. The second thing is ability to read others. If God gives us ability to read other people, well, if you look at that, you know, looking at like Jesus showing others that without even words, he conveyed a message. So let's say he wept. What is he saying, right? We get that. We're able to read what Jesus was doing. What Jesus, when he goes into to feed the 5,000, what do you think he was saying? When he was on the boat, when the storm hits, what was his body language? What's the body language was saying? Our body language is a powerful thing. So let's say let's say I'm talking to Demas, and Demas is like, oh, Lieutenant, oh man, I had a good day today, and I think I'm gonna have a promotion for next week. I'm gonna get more pay raise, and he's doing all, he's excited about it. If I'm going, okay,
You're not.
what am I doing?
It's just,
I'm saying, I'm agreeing with him. But am I really truly listening to what he's saying, or am I just, okay, just get it done, okay.
yeah, you just want to get it done. It's like,
Oh, okay, great job. Okay, I'll see you later. Right? What did I just do with my body language?
You didn't have understanding.
I wasn't engaging, was I?
You were engaging
Yeah.
them.
Was I understanding what he wanted to say?
No.
Why was he sharing that with me?
He was excited.
Because he's excited. It's important. He's sharing because it's important. To him, that's important. To me, that may not be that important. Okay? To me, I go, okay, great, good for you. But to Demas, when he's sharing things like that, he's important to me. So body language tells Demas, as he's sharing, he's excited, and he sees me going kind of distance and not interested and kind of standoffish. What is he going to do next time?
You're just not going to push it. Not to you.
Yeah, not going to talk to me.
Yeah.
Why? What was the initial conversation told you?
You don't care.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
See how the difference? Right? Body language is important. There are certain muscles in our face that we can't fake. You guys know that? It's automatic.
That's how you can tell if someone's genuine or not.
Yeah. If you look at body face, your face, certain muscles can't hide what you're feeling inside, like excitement. Like there's
It's
certain
like,
muscles. Yeah.
it's like you can tell if someone's paying attention or not.
Yeah. Yeah. Even
Like no matter how hard if I'm just like this, and I'm like look, and I'm not moving, you can still tell if I'm paying attention or not.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's the body language. Police use this all the time, right? When they're interrogating a suspect, they're not just listening to what they're saying. They're looking at their body language. So if you're going left, your eyes go up left. What are they doing? Do you guys know?
I think left is telling the truth, right? Right is telling a lie.
I believe right side is the creativity, left side is the logic. So if they're
Yeah.
going right, what are they doing?
So you're telling a lie.
They're trying to create
Yeah.
an answer.
You know,
If you're going off left, what are they doing?
you're reliving a moment.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out what really happened. I mean, is it 100%? No, but Usually that's what, through experience, they find out these things, right? What does this tell you? Nervous, right? Nervous means what?
They don't know what's going
Hiding
on.
something.
Hiding something.
Restless.
What is that?
It means,
Nervous. You're about to tell something that you don't want to, or you're doing something that you don't want to.
Restlessness and discontent is like signs of possible wanting to use drugs again or whatever.
Wait,
Because you're restless, you don't have nothing to do.
it means uncomfortable. You're telling your others that you're not comfortable at this moment.
Can't stay still.
Yeah, it's this or this. It's something. There's something wrong. Something going on. So if the cop asks you, "Do you have drugs?" No.
Yeah, there is.
Then what does that tell you? He has
They're
something.
hiding.
Yeah, he's hiding something.
Or it's high or something.
He's hiding something, right?
Sometimes I do that because sometimes I shake my leg because I don't go bathroom.
Well, that's different. Okay, so we have ability to read on. Jesus showed that through his body language. He does it all the time in the Bible. Okay, the third is God is able to give us a speak through other people, right? So God uses judges, God uses prophets to convey the message. Did he use only one? No. How many? How many? Are they all same type of people?
No.
They're all different. Moses is different from Joshua. Joshua is different from Isaiah. Isaiah is different from Habakkuk, right? They're all different.
Some of them didn't even get a good reward. Like Moses had to suffer all the way till his death.
Yeah, Moses never even got into the promised land. He never even got it. He got to see it, but he never got into it. But why God is doing that? Well, because everybody understands things differently. Everybody convey message differently. What Dylan, how his styles of conveying message to me may be different from, let's say, Janet or Demas. You guys have your own way of conveying your own message, even if the message might be same. The overarching message of God is same, right? So from Moses to all the way to the Habakkuk, their overarching message of God is same. God is speaking through them, right? But the message is same, right? Which is love. God loves them all. God forgives them all. God is about grace and mercy, right? But their message is still the same. Same with the New Testament. Jesus and the disciples, they all have their own style, their own type, the way they convey message. But what is the overarching message? Jesus is the Savior. Jesus died for us, for all of our spirit, soul, right? So we have to understand not everybody understands the same way. Okay? Let's say, let me give you an example. My oldest daughter, if I tell her something a few times, she'll get it. I don't have to check up on her. Did you do it? Did you do it right? I don't have to do that. So I'll tell her a few times the instructions and she'll figure it out and she'll do it. She'll figure her way out of that. For my third child, which is my son, I tell him, he's a boy, maybe because of that. I don't know. I tell him, okay, do this, and do it in this way. First few times I tell him, he doesn't do it. He forgets, he doesn't do it. I don't know what. So I try the same approach with third child as the first child, but first child gets it, but third child doesn't. I'm giving the same way. I'm giving the same way of message, but he doesn't get it. She gets it. See the difference?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm more frustrated and more angry at my son because, okay, I told her she's doing it. Why aren't you doing it? What is going on? You're trying to do this on purpose,
Resentments.
right? Yeah, it's all of a sudden I'm giving him negative message. I'm giving in evil and pain. Well, like, that's not good, right? I catch myself doing that sometimes, right? So I'm like, oh, okay. So now new different approach. I try to change approaches and see how he listens. So everybody's different, right? When you're having a conversation with other people, or you're trying to communicate with other people, you have to understand them as well. You have to understand they might not be this same guy as that guy. They're all different, and they all understand different ways. Okay, and the fourth is words. Writing. Writing. The Bible is written word, right? Why is it written word? Well, because we could give more detailed message through the words, the writing words, compared to speaking words, right? So
They don't fade away.
and yeah, they don't fade away. It's always there. So, and sometimes when you just talk, sometimes you make mistakes. Sometimes you go, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Have you had that moment?
Yeah.
Man, I shouldn't have said that. But when you're writing it, what are you doing? You're taking your time.
Organizing.
Organize your thoughts. Convey better message. Have you, I don't know if you guys are old enough, probably Dylan maybe old enough. When you used to write love letters, I don't know if you did or not, but I did. Love letters. Man, those things are cool.
Actually, women still do. They still see those anymore.
When you receive love letters,
It's different.
it's different from just
The regular
text or the phone going, hey, you want to talk over the phone? It's different.
It's different.
When you because you're taking your time putting different words, and you actually trying to process this whole thing. You're trying to convey as best as you can. You write this message and you read it and you're like, oh.
It actually makes you cry. Yeah.
It happens that with like poetry, because I can write poetry, like I can make like things rhyme, and I put it on like a text message and nobody even says anything about it. I'm like, man, this is good stuff right here. They don't even see it.
Yeah.
I'm a poet.
You wrote it one time and you never wrote it again.
I've done it to lots of people though. I mean, not just you.
But it's
No, you only have
but
to do one time.
the writing is different because we're able to take our time.
Mhm.
You were able to go back and change it if we need to,
Yeah.
because we're putting more emphasis and effort and time into that. It makes to make it better. So writing is another great way for us to communicate. You can't have a great conversation perhaps, but you can convey the message. There's a communication that could be more effective at times through writing. So we have this abilities to say that God gave us the Bible because of that reason, so that we could have it forever and we could continue to go back and look back, and yet the message does not change. Right? The message is still there, and we still learn new things about it, but we still like, oh, that's so cool. That's still cool. Yeah. So let's go into number 4. A conversation is not just about exchange of words. There are 4 different types of conversation. So if I could draw a square. So here is active, constructive. Here is passive, constructive. Here is active, destructive. And this is passive, destructive. So there are different types of speech that we give. There are different types of conversation. So there are 4, in general, there are 4 different types. Okay? So I'm going to explain that to you. So active constructive is that you're engaging into that person actively and with them to give them good feedback. You're actively trying to understand. When you're in that conversation, you're not passive off, or you're really engaged into that. So the good people who are active, constructive, are, when you talk to them, they're like this. Oh yeah, really? Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, when you talk to people like that, you want to keep talking.
Yeah.
they're engaged. They're trying to understand you. They're trying to, oh yeah, I get it, man. I know. This is so, yeah. Right? So that's what active constructive looks like. Passive constructive is, they may not go like this, but they're listening, right? They're not as active active in that conversation, but you understand them. You still listen.
That's how coaches are supposed to be. They're not supposed to like show a bunch of like yeah. You're just supposed to be like, good job.
So you're looking from a distance, but you're still listening. You're still engaging. And so at times you throw a word, feedback and say, yeah, so what you're saying is that, right? That's cool. I like that. They're not like this, like, oh yeah. It's not like that, but they're like, I get it. That's cool. Right? That's passive constructive. So what's active destructive? I don't get it. What the hell? This is not cool.
Arguing.
Argumentative, doesn't listen at all, don't care to listen. All you want to do is get your message out.
Last word.
you always want to be the one speaking out. You're dominating the conversation in a negative way, right? Like, yeah, listen. You need to shut up and listen to me. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. That's active destructive. Right? The conversation really never happens. What's a passive destructive? This is the one that really piss people off.
That's the one I do.
Active destructive is like you like okay. But passive destructive. So I'm getting a message saying you don't like me. Is that what you're saying? See, you are such a callous person, thinking when you say that to me, you think I'm listening? What do you think I'm doing? You're not engaging, like jumping in and like actively attacking, but you kind of stand up but you're still attacking. Korean does this all the time. So Korean moms will be doing this to another Korean mom. It's like, oh, I know my daughter is going. She's only going to Princeton. It's not like she's going to Harvard. So, and she knows the other parent, her daughter is not going to good school. Oh, is Jane going to school? Oh, that's too bad.
I always hear them say that. They do that sound too. Oh.
Dylan does that all the time.
Oh, that's shame. I know my daughter. I know she's not that smart. But what you're doing? What are you doing? You're attacking.
You're attacking.
Yeah, you're none
Antagonizing.
Yeah, antagonizing. You're attacking. You're making fun of that person.
Yeah.
But you're still boasting about you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my daughter's only going to Princeton. Oh, you're going to City College. Oh, that's still nice. But does that person who is listening to it feel nice?
No.
Feel good?
Like,
What is she feeling?
start angry.
Yeah, angry because you're belittling her
Mhm.
without really belittling her.
Yeah.
Right? You're like, oh, this is that person who just pisses you off. Like, what are you trying to say? Yeah? What are you trying to say then, huh? Then they were like, oh, I didn't say anything. Right? They're like, I didn't say anything. In reality, they didn't, in terms of like word by word. But what was in there?
It's all those words.
The words behind it.
The
Yeah.
words behind it.
Your mom, yeah. Don't you hate that? I'd rather you just come out and tell me. But like, oh, well, yeah. This is like the worst one in a conversation. It just pisses people off, makes people angry. Like,
It builds up.
yeah, it builds that. This one, you just like either you, if you're like fighter too, then you just right?
I'm more of that one.
Or like either that reaction. But this one, you're like, well, okay, what are you trying to say? Oh, I get what you're trying to do. You're trying to piss me off right now. You know that. But also, active constructive is also very important. You got to be actively listening, actively show that you are really interested in this conversation, really. So you need to know how to do that. Just like any other skill, we have to learn how to do that and learn how to not to do that. Sometimes we do some of the things without really thinking about it. It just come natural, right? I don't know about you, Demas. What do you think you are? I think you're more passive constructive. Or at least you try to be.
Yeah, I would have to say, yeah, it could be passive constructive. And when it comes to my negative side, how could I put it? I'm probably passive destructive, but more in a direct way.
Okay. So
Like,
more
I'm
more.
not dramatic about anything.
Oh,
I'm
you
not like, you know.
I think I could be all four. I'm all
Yeah.
four.
No.
Yeah. So as we learn more about that, the art of skill of conversation, it's going to be better for us to convey our message, right? Because eventually that's what we want to do in a conversation. So conversation is not just about talking, but listening, right? In a conversation, listening versus talking, about 60 to 70% should be listening, and 40 to 30% talking. Obviously, you need to do more listening. Why is it important for us to listen rather than talk?
You learn more.
You learn. Okay? In true conversation, there needs to be more listening and talking, because if you want to learn and understand the message of other people trying to tell you, you need to just shut up and listen.
God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth.
That's right. That's right.
So he wants us to listen twice as much as we're supposed to talk.
Yeah. God always says, listen. Right? If you look at the Bible, if God says a very important message, he says, listen. He used the word listen. Right? Or the word be still. Right?
46:10.
Yeah. Just be still. Or listen. Hear what the word of God is saying. Right? So we have to just sometimes stop trying to generate conversation by talk. We need to listen. And I always try to listen first. Like, okay, hey, how you doing? So, tell me about yourself. I want to listen. I would like to listen. I want to hear what you say. And so that listening part is important, and how we do it is important. And by doing so, the conversation becomes the actual conversation where you understand, right? A lot of the couples fight because, let's say, a husband is sitting down and eating, and he's done, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm done." And wife said, "Oh, honey, can you put that dishes in the sink?" Okay. So here, not much going on. If husband was listening, he would have gone and done it, right? He said, "Ah, honey, just do it. I'm just tired." Okay, now she's not starting to get angry because he's not listening. right? So, what will she say? Okay, how hard is for you to get up and put that dish in the sink? And now he's not comfortable with that. What does he say? He start to probably attack. Well, all you do is sit home all day. I'm going out there working hard, come home, and I'm tired. Why don't you get your lazy butt up and do that? Well, then now what's going on?
That's started arguing.
Yeah. All she did was to convey the message. Can you help me? Assist me, right? And he's saying, nah, not listening to you right now. I don't want to do whatever you tell me. I'm not listening to you. So what you're saying is you're actively, really, in body language and in your words, saying, I don't want to listen to you. So she's angry about that because women are more sensitive to that. Women are more sensitive to body languages and the pitch, the sounds of the person. If you didn't know, right? So they're looking at him and going, okay, he's not listening. He just wants to pick a fight. So let's go. So then what? The conversation becomes resentful, hurtful, angry. Is it dying?
Low battery.
Okay, can you?
This is close. It's still going.
Yeah, can you? There's a charger in my office. Chung's side. So that the conversation is becoming more and more toxic, ugly, and not really conversation anymore. Right? If husband was truly listening, he would say, "Okay, I got your message. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna help you." Or if he was truly that tired, he said, "Honey, I'm sorry. I'm just tired today. Can you do that for me today?" That's different from nah. You do it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, just take it out. It's okay. So the conversation totally changes now. It's just totally changes and it's not effective. All is there is just anger and hatred and resentment and just arguments, misunderstanding and things like that.
It's like that, and then it's always like that. But then now it's like, for instance, sorry to put you on another bus. So I started the job. I'm excited. I'm explaining everything to him. The next thing you know, he just talks something different kind of subject. I already knew when he's talking different subject, he didn't never listen to the conversation. Because I'm excited in the job. I explained to him. It was like, oh my God, this is like the same thing as Salvation Army. We're doing this. We're giving out food. How to sing all this food and everything, and then jump to a different subject. So I was like, I didn't want to argue. I was just like,
Yeah. So it's again, when you in engaging in a conversation, what is that person trying to tell me? We need to be actively constructive about that. Okay. And also body language is important too during this conversation. Again,
That's why I don't like phone calls and stuff because you can't really.
if you're going like this, if you're sitting down like this and trying to listen to conversation, what are you seeing?
they're not listening.
They're not listening. They don't want to listen right now, right? I've seen a woman talking to her husband. And every time husband speaks, she would literally do this.
It's just like,
Yeah, she would do this, because his husband's here. So what is she saying?
I don't want to listen.
I don't want to listen to you. You're not listening to me. But he didn't get it. He's saying words, but he's going.
It still talks.
boop, not coming to her at all. So I had to like engage and say, okay, what he's trying to say to you is this. What she's trying to say to you is this. And so they began to like, oh, now no more misunderstanding.
It's all things that whenever he does talk about his gym and everything else, I listen. I was like, oh, okay, that's good. I know. I was like, you got all these clients that you're making a progress with them, and it's good. And I do when I do go to his gym and do work out with him. I see that I talk to interact with his clients and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
But when it comes to his personal client, I won't interact with his personal client.
Yeah.
So if I'm with his group client, I interact. They talk. I talk to them because they talk to me, and it's very interesting. So yeah, it's just like you need to listen.
So when we're engaging in a conversation, especially one-on-one conversation, the body posture and the pitch is important. The pitch of our voice. So if when we get excited, we get the pitch goes up.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, it does. So like if you listen to announcers, let's say baseball announcers,
Yeah.
he's hitting on, he's going to go, it's going deep, it is gone. So the voice volume goes up, but also pitch goes up, right? So in a conversation, if somebody pitch is starting to go up a bit and it's starting to get loud a bit, what are they saying?
listen to me.
Yeah, you're not listening to me right now. I gotta say a little louder and a little bit more higher pitch so that you start listening.
Start listening.
But if you don't do that, then it gets what?
It goes higher.
Higher and up. Now it's louder, and now it becomes shouts.
Mhm, shout.
Now we gotta fight.
Now you gotta fight. Do you understand
Yeah.
the way
My
we?
mom does that a lot too. She's like, when she gets upset, she'll start going louder, 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 louder.
Because what they're trying to do is trying to drown you out, and try to be the dominant. Okay, so you have to be careful how you convey your message. So why do we need to learn this skill? Well, we need this skill to be more effective. If you want to bring peace to places around you, you need to learn how to do that. It's the opposite effect too. If you don't know how to do this, you're not building peace, right? So what happens if I'm too quiet? Well, people are disengaged with you, and now you're becoming more isolated. When you become more isolated, you are not getting that positive feedback that you need, that strength. We need conversation because we need to understand each other, and through understanding each other, we help each other. Right? That's how the marriage works. That's how the parent and child relationship works. That's how co-worker relationship works. That's how it works with any relationship. Right? If you're isolating yourself, it's never good. There's something wrong. So isolation is a sign that there's something wrong. And you need to stop isolating yourself. You need to come out and talk to somebody that you're comfortable with. Okay? So a lot of addicts does that. A lot of addicts like to isolate themselves because they're ashamed. They're uncomfortable talking to people because what they're doing is wrong. Right? They're actively isolating themselves. Only hang around with people who I could benefit. So the conversation takes that away from you. So you need to make sure you engage in conversation so that you be connected. Right? We're social animals. Well, not animals, but we're social beings. We're created to be social. We're not created to be isolated and alone. If you've been alone for a long time, you'll know why. Right? So you'll find yourself the art of, if you have a good grasp of art of conversation, you will have a better relationship with other people. You will feel better. You'll be healthy in terms of social, right? And you'll find yourself in a lot better place. But if you don't know how to, if you have a bad communication skill, or you don't know how to really converse with other people, you're always miserable, tired, and resentful. Talk to people who are arguing all the time. You never see them happy, anywhere. They're always wary of starting fights or starting conversation with an anger or whatever. So we need this skill, really. If you're going to be a good Christian and you want to convey the great message of the salvation of Jesus Christ, you better have a good conversation skills or communication skills, or else you're losing a lot of people. Right? So we have to learn how to do that. Okay? We're going to end with 4 things that you should never do in a conversation. Okay, first, nagging. Number 1. Never lag. Nagging never helps. You never hear a child say, "Oh, because my mom's nagging, I feel better." Never. If somebody nags at you all the time, it just slowly killing that relationship. Why? Because if you're a mom or dad nagging at your child all the time, do this, do that. Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing this? Why can't you be better? Other people are better. Why do this? Every time you see all they're doing is nagging, that's almost like an in between active destructive and passive destructive. It's like, well, Jimmy's doing better than you. Oh, you never want to hear that as a kid. Or anyone, really.
Actually, yeah, you don't want to.
Yeah, you never want to, oh, I mean, Demas is doing better than you, Dylan. Then Dylan, although Dylan probably, whatever. But usually, Dylan, it could hurt someone.
It hurts a lot.
It hurts. So nagging really doesn't do anything other than it pushes people away, stops the conversation. Because when you're nagging, you're not listening. You're actively not listening. When you're nagging, all you're doing is you're trying to convey your message and telling other people, "I'm not here to hear you." Stop nagging. Nagging never works in a conversation. Number 2 is contentment.
Disrespect.
Yeah. If you have a contempt spirit, boy, you are not a good person to be around with. Right? Can you give an example? Do you know, Demas?
Like something unedifying too, right?
Yeah, it's not edifying at all.
No.
You're just trying to destroy that person. If you have a contentment, you're not engaging in any active conversation at all. You're more likely passive destructive if you're doing that. You're trying to slowly break that person down. Or some people could be active destructive and just go at you, right? So we don't want that. Third is defensiveness. So why is this bad? Well, every time you talk, they say, "Oh, Janet, do you know what happened to that? Oh, it wasn't me. I don't know why you always asking me for doing that. It's not my fault." Every time I try to talk to you, you're very defensive about everything, right? This this is the new thing that's happening right now. What is it? The social norms, political norm,
Yeah.
or yeah. So your name is, so he's a woman, and you going, "Oh, so what's your name? Janet. Oh, okay, hi Janet. So then I'm trying to go. So you're a woman, right?" And she's like, "Huh? I'm not a woman. Right? I'm a man." Okay. Right? Well, I don't know. I didn't know. And she get very defensive. Oh, I see. That's how you see me then, huh? Just because I have a woman's body doesn't mean we get all these defensive about everything. I'm like, "Oh, you telling me? Why are you telling me that? Why are you saying that? Oh, because you think because it's a self-esteem issue. Like, you're always defensive about everything. You have excuses for everything. When you screw up, it wasn't his fault. It wasn't that fault. Oh, what happened? I don't know. It was his fault. Dog ate my homework. Why didn't you do it? I went to back pain. Why didn't you come to church? You know what? It was a really bad smoke in the air that day. You know I have asthma, right? You did? Well, now I do. So, you excuses. You get defensive about it. If you get defensive, I can't continue to talk with you because you're always, whoa. What are you doing? Why are you doing that? Why are you being attacked? Why are you attacking me? Right? You can't have a conversation. You're always defensive So in a conversation, defensive never works. Lastly, stonewalling.
Oh.
So,
Like ignoring.
yeah. Don't you have that when somebody just you hadn't you're talking and then the other person's upset, so like, and then no matter, oh, I'm sorry, oh, come on, I made a mistake, come on. Just that person wouldn't talk to you. Don't talk to you. There's like a big wall. No matter what you're doing, no matter how much you're trying to apologize, no matter how much you're trying to, oh, come on, yeah, don't be like that. But the person's like,
That sounds like resentments, for sure.
is there a conversation happening?
No.
No. Why? If that happens, if there's a misunderstanding, if there's a, let's say, differences of opinion, and you didn't like that opinion that person gave, and you're just a little bit upset, what do you need to do? Right? You need to unpackage that by talking out. Well, I didn't like the way you said that, and it upsets me. Then the other person who's listening will say, "Oh, I didn't know. Which part upsetted you?" Well, because when you said this, because of I felt you were implying this, so therefore I was hurt. The other person going, "Oh, that was not my intention at all. I just said that because of this." Now what's happening?
It's actually a good conversation.
Yeah, now you begin to understand.
Understand each other.
Yeah, you're getting rid of this misunderstanding. So if misunderstanding continues to build, well, you know what happens? Resentment happens. Anger happens. Because now you're assuming things. You're going off on assumption. Oh, because of that person said this, now that person think I'm worthless, think I'm bad. Even though that person intention probably wasn't that at all. Right? That happens a lot in a political realm. Oh, you wear a MAGA hat? Oh, you must be white supremacist racist. Right? You're just assuming. Oh, there's a message right there. You're saying Trump hat means white supremacist racist, even though you may be Asian or black.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works, but hey. Oh, you're white supremacist racist. I'm black. That doesn't matter. Right? So you're assuming, oh, you're Democrat, then you must be like, oh, crazy LGBTQ community supporting crazy people.
Yeah, it's true. I just because I met a person, he just assumed me to be Democrat. I was like, don't assume a person just because I say I have an open mind, I speak my own words, meaning that I'm a Democrat. So you don't know what I'm a Democrat or a Republican. So don't assume me straight up Democrat. That means that you're quick to judge.
Yeah. So that conversation releases all that.
Yeah.
Clarifies it. So that's why we need to learn how to have that good skill of conversation skills, the art of conversation, right?
It's a thing like yesterday. You know, he was with his friend on Friends Day. He went to go egg me. I called and then he put me a speaker, which I was like, okay, we put me a speaker. So basically, I was just there. You know, I didn't want to talk to him when I was put on speaker. And he's just talking to his friend. Friends, I was telling him that, oh, you know, why she's eavesdropping. I was like, well, I wasn't eavesdropping. I was just playing my game on it, on my phone. And then when I was playing my game, I actually hung up on him. I called him back, and he still put me on speaker, saying that I like to bother him. I was like, you know, and then all of a sudden, it was like I did hear all this stuff, and then my game just froze, and I cussed out. I didn't mean to cuss at him. I cussed at my game. So people around his friends thinking that I'm cussing at him. So, and I actually, because my game just suddenly go on the radiance, and then start shutting everything off, and I was like, F this, right? And I come back, I was like, oh my God, don't tell me to think that I'm cussing at him. Oh God, I didn't mean to. Then, so his friends thought that I was cussing at him, and I I tried to call him back, and he just put me on block, and then tried to call back and apologize, I didn't mean to, and then, so there was a misunderstanding that we finally picked up, I told him,
So-
please, it's a misunderstanding, and then, please don't, and then, you know, I didn't mean to cuss you, I was cussing at the game, sorry, I didn't, so.
Yeah, so again, Dylan basically stonewalled you, right?
Yeah, he didn't know
Block.
but at the same time, I did tell him that, you know, if I do call, but do be respectful, just step away from your friend, and don't put me on speaker in front of your friend like that. And could you just please to say, hey, I'm gonna pick up this call, and then I'll be right back, explain to me, and then that's it, and then go back to your friend, that's it, I don't wanna call, but he just put me on blast.
So it's a two-way, many things are happening in that. First of all, Dylan's conveying a certain message saying, okay, I'm not really in a mood to talk, but he's too nice to just hang up on you. And if you do, because you're gonna be angry, he knows that. So that's what's happening, right? So now, he's stonewalling you because his message is saying, okay, and so your message is to say, okay, I would like to just have a conversation with you, spend some more time talking to you, because I enjoy that. But so again, the message is being mixed signal, right? Misunderstanding now. All of a sudden, he's stonewalling you. Now you are now angry, and you're going, okay, why are you doing that to me? You know, this happened because of that reason. You're not even listening to me, what I'm trying to say. All you're doing is doing what you want. So there's the message is being misfired all over the place.
Everything. That's why I did ask him that. He did to me that, you know, I'm with my friend. I was like, how will I know you're with your friend? Because during that time it was late. How will I know? All you could just step aside. Don't put me on speaker and let people hear me talking to you, and if they're listening, and while I'm listening, I was like, okay, you could just step aside and say, hey, I'm with my friend. And then he said that, well, he doesn't like that.
So for in that, you have to have a certain sets of rules now. Make sure that you follow the rules.
Yeah.
And well, I could talk to you more about that and how you guys could work that out. But yeah, there has to be rules and respect of the rules, and that as you continue to kind of refine those rules, that makes it easier for you guys now to kind of understand each other a little bit better. So because now there's not much rules, and there's not really much understanding of what's going on. You're going here, he's going over here, so you're missing. But you need to be on point.
Well, he did ask me if you know, I shouldn't be yelling. So like I said, I'm changing myself. So I did, you know, ask him nicely, but he will go over and yell at me and attack me, and I stepped back a little bit. I was like, hey, I didn't. All I ask you could just tell me that you're friends,
Yeah.
right? Just don't open speaker and start talking, and then it's like, okay, I don't know what's going on because it was late. You don't know because it's already 10 o'clock. I thought that he was home already.
So again, those things that I could help you kind of work out as a couple. But yeah, again, conversation. If honest conversation, the true conversation can unpack some of these misunderstandings. So let's pray. Father God, we truly thank you for this time. Thank you for your guidance. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for giving us opportunity to learn about this. Thank you for giving us the words and language to understand the things that we do. We're not like animals where we're just acting upon our instincts, and we're just going upon whatever we assume to be. But Father, we are able to convey and to describe the things that are going on in our lives and in what's happening around us. Thank you for the language. Thank you for the words. And pray in all these names, Jesus. Amen.